something that has really been taught to me is how to make ramen noodles, how to make these cheap noodles, and how to make them good. But that's the thing, they're cheap. They're not good. You never feel good after you're finished eating them. The only reason students or anybody, I feel, really eat these cheap products is because of how cheap they are, not because of the nutritional value. Because of the nutritional value, because of the healthiness that you can provide, you have a competitive edge already seen in the UK, and you can see that we will. And with our plan today, we'll be able to show you how you can move forward into a new market. We are 10 Eyes Consulting. To your right, I have Max, and to your left, I have Wesley, and we'd like to jump right into it. So, looking at problems and why are we really here, we've identified more than one primary problem because we can see that there is more than one problem that needs to be solved here. There are a lot of complex issues that need to be addressed. So, the main problem, Whole Foods. Dealing with Whole Foods has already been seen as a logistical problem. With them pushing the date back and with the 50K investment already being invested, we can see that with dealing with Whole Foods could potentially be a problem moving in the future. How are we going to deal with this? How is it going to be moving forward? Another problem, how to plan production for the next year. For the 2020 year, how are we going to make sure that production is sustainable and production will complement your values of good food and make sure that you promote and have the competitive advantage that you've established in the UK and move it as well into the United States. More of a secondary problem, an online presence. As we've seen and you've outlined, is an online presence feasible? Is it viable? Can we make sure that you guys can capitalize on an online presence? We'll be answering that today as well. Another secondary problem is the rescheduling of production. How can we reschedule production to make sure it complements the primary problem of how do you plan for the next year? How do you plan for the 2020 season?
All right. I don't know if you guys noticed, judges, as I shook your hand, you may have noticed that I lost my voice. So bear with me while I try to get through this. It's a little cracky, but we're going to give it a shot. So we took a lot of time and effort this full 3-hour breakdown to really look at a lot of different topics. The first one that we looked at were, what are your current resources? What are your current resource capabilities? How can you use them for your advantage? So obviously you have a supply chain that is set up well for manufacturing. It has worked well in the UK, and this is something that you can continue to rely on using the same suppliers to help produce this food item. Also, a working capital of $350,000. Now, this isn't a very large sum of money, but it is enough money for us, given our recommendation, to really be able to capitalize on the opportunity that is in front of you. This is a $1.7 billion industry in America, and we firmly believe that $350,000 is enough to get started, to launch yourself in North America and really grow forward and get your feet moving here. Eric's already mentioned this a little bit, but there is that $50,000 sunk cost. So with our recommendation here, you are going to be experiencing that sunk cost as Whole Foods has changed their timeline with you. There's also the potential for the student market. So this was the test market that was used in the UK to really try to see, does this product work? And it's another market that you can really use as a test market in America to do pretty much exactly the same thing. With that $350,000 capital, you have to try to make sure that when you're doing your marketing, what kind of target market are you going to look at? Obviously, we all understand, and I'm sure you do as well, that when you market, you can't just market to a very massive, wide range of individuals. You really have to hone in on that specific, this is our target market. And it's been proven already with this company, and we really believe that the student market is going to be your entrance for this overall industry. You've also got 5 employees. It's a small team, however, it is a very experienced team. We understand that the owners, the ones who purchased the licensing agreement to operate in North America, they are experienced in one area, but they do not have the experience necessarily in sales or things of that nature. But the people that you brought on are experienced in a wide range of these. They understand a wide range that are really going to help you push this one. Now as a basic analysis, went over some strengths. So first off, I'm going to start, you have a highly differentiated product. Eric, in his introduction, he already mentioned this a little bit. So this product is not a cheap noodle. It may be something that is going to be widely enjoyed by students such as ourselves and some of the people in the crowd here. However, when we think of ramen, we think of that 99-cent brand where, and we talked about this moments leading up to this. This is a food that doesn't leave you feeling fulfilled. However, the product that you guys have is much healthier, it's going to be better, it is, and we classify it more as a brain food, again, attaching that to the student target market. This is the proven success in the UK. I've already kind of gone over this already. That proven success is something you can really build on and have confidence moving forward in North Canada. You also have, you're the first mover in healthy noodles in the US market. As I mentioned, all of these other noodle offerings are realistically not the greatest content. So you open that bag, you feel the garbage afterwards because you're not eating a quality product. Your product is of high quality, it's healthy, you can really capitalize on that feature. Weaknesses, however, we notice we have a low working capital. So I mentioned this $350,000 working capital. Although I mentioned it was enough money to really get going, it is relatively low. So that limits your options for what you can do moving forward. However, with our recommendation, we do still firmly believe this is enough to at least get started. Finally, you have a high production lead time. So this is, let's be honest, it's lengthy. By using that same manufacturer, the supplier of these products, these goods, your lead time is going to be extensive, a little bit extra. So that is something we also have to consider and really honestly hindered us with this recommendation. Now looking into opportunities, there is a large growth for online, gaining a presence for your brand online, gaining those potentially market share online through sourcing Amazon, your own Shopify store. However, we don't necessarily believe that, and I don't know about you guys or you in the crowd, buying food online is kind of a sketchy area, but this is a food product that can last a little bit longer, so we will talk about expiration dates in a minute here. But this is a thing that can be stored a little bit longer, so there is that opportunity for this product to be a viable consumption. There's also an increasing health awareness in the population in the demographic that you're targeting. Obviously, this has worked out in the UK as well. So the shift from going from a very quick and efficient, something I can grab and go and run, obviously we're trying to really maximize your efficiency. This allows this to happen while also offering the healthy noodle, that healthy food option. And that's really the next wave that we're already beginning to experience at you as well. We're already beginning to experience. We really want to hone in on that. This is the healthier alternative.
So now, looking into more of the product breakdown, we took these 4 products and we really tried to look at the nitty-gritty and the numbers and something really that we could base our recommendation off of. So as we can see, we have our 4 products up here, and this is what we have calculated to be what is the cost of producing these products on a per unit level. So as we can see, the ZOL option is you can produce this at less than $1 per product. But you can see the minimum order quantity is 125,000 units. When you're trying to penetrate this brand new market, that is a ton of product that you would have to at least sell. And 6 months may sound like a long time to be able to sell this product and to be able to put it in stores. But when there's a 3-month lead time, that starts to become very, very complicated. And if you're starting to try to prove yourself in stores very early on, this MOQ could be extremely, extremely critical. That is why when we move forward a little bit further into our recommendation, we will not be talking about the ZOL option. We will only want to be talking about the Sublime Crisp and Kyoto options. They are per unit a little bit more expensive to create and to produce, but we really look at the MOQ. We want to make sure you are not sustaining penalties and not making products go to waste unnecessarily. You're penetrating this market, you want to have a good reputation, if you want to make sure that it is a good step forward.
Alright, moving forward now into decision criteria. So the first one is financial feasibility. I've already mentioned that we went through a ton of different options for this recommendation, and a lot of them we got halfway through, really started to crunch numbers, and they fell through. So this option, we looked at worst case scenario for all of the options that we experienced and tried out. Financial feasibility with our option, this is really something that is going to work out. Next is the growth potential. I've already mentioned that $1.7 billion industry with that $350,000 capital that you can use to try and break into this new market. This has a high growth potential as well. So again, check that. Product feasibility, again, this goes back to what Eric was just talking about with those 3 products that we're really going to focus on. How feasible is it for you to produce each one of them with the 3 that we are focusing on, that we are recommending that you focus on and continue to produce early on moving forward? These products are absolutely, without question, feasible. And finally, it's the maintain the competitive advantage. So in the UK, it was, as I've mentioned, that extra health component that we've already talked about. We really want to hone in on this, as I've already mentioned, to really push sales and help you guys grow. So,
all right, so you've heard a lot about how your company is able to grow and how your company is able to do this and that, but you haven't heard yet about what are the actual answers to your underlying questions. What are the actual answers to the primary problem? And that's why we're here to answer that. So we know again that we have an agreement with Whole Foods Sales to penetrate the market with about 75 stores for 3 months' time. Except, as Eric just said earlier, we have a minimum order quantity for our products of 90,000. Now, that is with for 3 months. That's let me take a step back. With our products, unfortunately, we have a 12-month expiry date. However, the Whole Foods Sales in most stores and most retailers in the U.S. won't accept our products if they have an expiry date at the 6-month level. So we are not able to basically give Whole Foods Sales that entire 90,000 alone. What we had to do is find new retailers to meet at least 90,000 of our units. And we have to do this right now because we have just 6 months, as it is July 2019. And if Whole Foods Sales would like to push back our contract to April 2020, we have just 6 months, given all of our lead times, getting all of our shipment, getting everything ready in order to find new retailers and try and find another 275 stores with 4 new retailers so that we can get penetrating this market as quick as possible. So, moving into how we're going to implement this. As I said again, it is June 2019, so let's start right now. From now until September 2019, we want to find at least 4 more retailers in the US that we'd like to partner with in order to sell our products. So again, we're talking about retailers like Walmart, Kroger, we're talking about CVS and Walgreens. These are the top retailers in the US that have some with over 1,000 stores, right? So with these amount of retailers, they'll give us more than enough ability to have our product, to sell our products. And from September or October, we like to finalize these contracts. So again, we want to make sure that we're really locking in those 4 retailers with about 50 stores each per store, and have about a 3-month period again that is equal, again, that matches the Whole Foods Sales contract beginning in April 2020. And then from October to November, organize the transport routes for our stores. So again, we're talking about, we're gonna have to figure out all the distribution, we're gonna have to figure out all the supply chain works so that we're able to meet all those 275 stores that we're now going to be trying to take on. And then moving on to the second phase. Oh, sorry, moving on to the risk. What is the problem if we cannot find 4 more retailers? Because again, we're talking about 90,000 unique products. And if we know that each store is only able to hold about 160 products at a time, with 160 products in their back per store, there's no way that this will ever be feasible. So it is vital that we negotiate with these stores to try and either find more stores or make sure that we're maybe negotiating with Whole Foods Sales again to push back that April timeline so that we're able to penetrate this market. Moving on on to the second phase, we're beginning the production for all 3 products. So we know again that there is a minimum of 3 months for the production to get that finished good for our instant noodles. So beginning in December 2019 is when we'll finally begin the production. So that's sourcing all of our raw materials, which is going to cost about $200K in order to create about 100,000 of our instant ramen noodles. And then after that 3 months, we'll arrive at March 2020, which is when we'll begin all the distribution to the stores. So we have the finished good. Now we have to be able to distribute and transport all of our instant ramen noodles to all those 275 stores. And we know that takes about 3 weeks time. So starting that in March gives us an ample amount of room in order to get it into the stores, get it onto those displays right away. And finally arriving in April 2020, each store has around 320 unique products. So again, that's 160 of our products on the displays, 160 on the back, and we've more than met that 90,000 requirement, and we're finally able to penetrate that market, and we've gone all over across the United States, finally getting our delicious, healthy noodles to the consumer. Now, a risk for this would be what happens if the production is delayed. Now again, this is going to be something that's going to be really important when working into the contracts, is that this is the very first time that we're going to be producing these noodles. So we want to make sure that, because again, if it took 3 months for it to work in the UK, then we want to make sure that we're really working to our contract so they're able to work out all the kinks. And we make sure that we can have everything on time. If it's going to be a little bit later than April 2020, then our contract will be able to mitigate that a little bit. Then finally, the third phase, we'll analyze the sales. And so we can see where the success is in our products. That'll be in around July to 2020. So what we're talking about is looking at our inventory turnover, looking at the sales, and looking at which products are doing the best so that we can figure out what to push, what to take back, what to change. And then again, in August 2020, we'll be able to determine the growth of all the wholesalers. So seeing like this, let's say Whole Food products are performing way better than, say, the Walmart products or the CVS products. Those are going to be the operational KPIs that we need in order to keep growing forward.
So now we will look more at the outcomes. So we can see that you will become well known in this new market, just like in the UK. You will be known as somebody who provides students, families, everybody who wants these cheaper alternatives to actually have them, but not to compromise their health, not to compromise anything else. There should be no need to compromise. You should keep that competitive advantage that you have had in the UK, and that you will be able to move forward into the US. Thank you, and now we open the floor to questions.
So in phase 2, you identified the production delay as a risk and mitigations to work into the contract. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, so again, just to kind of reiterate what I was saying earlier, is that we understand that this is the very first time that we're going to be producing like 100,000 of these instant ramen noodles, so that's a very difficult thing. So we really want to make sure that we're able to get all of these noodles manufactured on time, and if it's going to take a little bit longer than the allocated like 3 months of lead, then we want to work that into the contract so that maybe we can work with the retailers so that we're able to kind of extend that period so that we're able to get our products onto the shelf. Because we strongly believe that since we have such a great product, that they're going to want our as well.
So in the contract, you're identifying there's maximum lead time allowed for this.
Yeah.
So something else that we want to kind of use at this buffer zone, since we want to incorporate into this contract to make sure that these wholesalers, they know that this is a new product and this is the first time moving into the USA. So we need to make sure that there is some risk involved. They need to be aware of this. We don't want to blindside them and just say, this is what we plan. 3 months is a hard lead time. We want to say maybe 3 to 4 months to make sure if there are any kinks, moving it from locations from the UK to the US, moving across the pond could be fairly complicated, so we want to make sure that everybody is well informed of that.
You recommend 100,000 units in the first production run. Is there a breakdown between the three products that you're recommending maintaining?
So what we would like to do is do an even split of the three products. So of the Sublime Crisp and Kyoto, since they do have the exact same MOQ and it is the exact same product that is causing that minimum order quantity, we will want to do an even split, a third, and a third, to make sure that there are 30,000 of these products in each one of these stores. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, but the minimum order quantity is 90,000. Will we not 90,000?
Since actually, if we look at the appendix, so the product that is causing the minimum order quantity of 90,000 is the FD and the FD chicken shredded. So here, and here, they're the exact same products. So we will be able to split that down 30 to 30,000. So we'll be able to split them across and be able to find the optimal number of these ratios between the products to make sure that there are 30,000 between.
Question for you. Since this is your first run in the US, and you're not 100% sure how well it's going to sell or not sell, so how would you mitigate overstocking or understocking in case it doesn't sell well, but it sells quicker?
I think that's one thing that's really good about, because we've done the math in about 275 stores with about 160 stores, 160 of our products on shelves per store, and then 160 in the back stock. That comes out to be about 88,000 of total units for all that 275 stores that we've kind of allocated. And if we're going to be creating for our first batch 100,000 of our instant ramen noodles, and we have about 12,000 of just in case of like a safety stock, in order to kind of push those into some stores that, let's say, it's like really flying off the shelves, and we're able to kind of mitigate that a little bit. And then as well, that's really awesome is that we do have that interest in that online kind of area as well. So let's say that we want to try and create a little bit more revenue streams and stuff, and then we're able to kind of do that as well. Does that answer your question?
On your slide number 2, where you identify the primary program, should you go with all foods? Could you go back to the interpretation in a logical way and answer that question?
Yeah, so I think to answer your question, Whole Foods is going to be one of the people that, or one of the companies that we recommend that you continue to pair with. However, it's not going to be the only one for you. So when we ran the numbers of just operating under Whole Foods, it was no longer financially feasible given the numbers of the case. However, by establishing not only a partnership with them, now we're looking for those other partnerships, working with other distributors. It's one of only total 5. So yes, but also the additional.
That concludes the